watching Diamond Vision Entertainment Network.
Especially on strategy that will not be coming up here today. But I'm going to speak to it. I've selected a few points to speak to. The Yoruba people. How do we fulfill the destiny of the Yoruba race? What is the way forward? The Yoruba people are simply the descendants of Oduduwa. We are all Odua children and concentrated in the following places. The biggest concentration is in the southwest of Nigeria, in states comprising Ekiti, Lagos, Ogun, Ondo, Osun, and Oyo states. Then the Yoruba, Ogun, Oworo of Kogi state. The Yoruba of Kwara and Central. Please, tí ẹ̀ ń pariwo yẹn. South and Kwara Central in Kwara State. The Shekiri in Delta State. Incidentally, among the Yoruba in Kwara State, if you hear of the Baruba, most people don't think that the Barubas are related to Yoruba. They very much are. And today, if anything happens, the Baruba and the Yoruba will be behaving as one. Then we have the Bini of Edo State. Then we have the Yoruba in the diaspora, concentrated essentially in South and Central America, particularly Argentina, Brazil, Cuba, Barbados, the United States, Canada, and then in Europe, United Kingdom, Belgium, and Co. Who are the Yoruba people? What is the Yoruba destiny? What is the Yoruba ethos? The Yoruba can be identified by the following: freedom of thought, freedom of thought, freedom of expression, individual choice, and individuals' pursuit of life and ambition, but also the overall good of the society. All of these are governed by the character called Omoluabi, Omoluabi, Yoruba, Omoluabi. Another word that you may not know is Afenifere. The Yoruba are the best Afenifere tribe in Nigeria. The Yoruba are the most accommodating. Whenever you find the Yoruba in any place, if things are many, the Yoruba is likely going to say, I cannot eat this alone. Other people are there who must share. So integrity, respect, and ideas. When I talk about integrity, the Yoruba are the people who will say, what is right is what I will do. What is wrong is what I will oppose. That is the Yoruba for you. And we have in our midst today the OC, Ateh, who is an example, is found an example of what Yorubas call Bibire, and Oshefowora, àti pé kò bọkùnrin jẹ́, kò bọmọ jẹ́. His great-grandfather decided that rather than do something that is wrong or false or shameful, that is not in character of what is right, he decided to kill himself. I would rather die. I would rather die than do what is wrong. I would rather die. I would rather stand my ground. And the Balogun Kobomoje is in our midst. Ogoland people, we greet you. Welcome to our midst. That is the Yoruba for you. Afenifere means you love yourself, but you don't love yourself alone. You love others too. That is why we have so many other tribes among us. Lagos is almost a cosmopolitan place where everybody is there. You find the Fulanis here, the Ibiras are here. We are all together. The Yorubas are tolerant and considerate. But they have a purpose. When they go for what they have determined to do, they go without looking back. And the Oduwa that we sang earlier summarizes it all. Iṣẹ́ wa fún ilé wa, fún ilé ìbí wa, ká So the Yoruba lives for himself and for the society at large. And the Yoruba believes in certain principles, certain characters of Omoluabi with grace. People are very surprised when they see a Yoruba man greet an elder and he goes fully on his belly. People man will say, what's wrong with this man? But that is Yoruba for you. Yoruba believes in hard work. I'm going to ask Ateh, can you please say it for us? Iwawa, Ishewa. Well, those of us who are older in Lobo, we learned it when we were small. Iṣẹ́ àgbẹ̀ níṣẹ́ ilé wa, ẹni kò ṣiṣẹ́ àmàjáde. Ìwé kíkọ́ láìsí ọkọ́ àti àdá, kò pé o, Yorùbá ni. And then he said, múra ṣiṣẹ́ rẹ ọ̀rẹ́ mi, iṣẹ́ la fi ń dẹni nígbà, lálẹ́ ní fẹ̀yìntì, fún ọ̀rẹ́ ìyàwó ní ọ̀tá rẹ̀ ní That is the Yoruba man to you. In Nigeria, the Yoruba man is known for being truthful. When he says yes, he means yes. When he says no, he means no. But the Yoruba man is also very, very patient. He will hardly go to war. But God saved the man. God saved the tribe that provoked the Yoruba to a war. They will get what they want. So the destiny of the Yoruba is for the Yoruba race to be able to achieve their collective goal of better life for themselves and others. You can see in that song, it says, Bá ṣe bí ẹrú la bí ọmọ. That is, the Yoruba man does not care whether your father is rich or poor. We are all equal. So, Yoruba says, Afẹ́nifẹ́re ire owó, Afẹ́nifẹ́re ire ọmọ, Afẹ́nifẹ́re ire àlàáfíà for everybody. That is Yoruba. So, are we achieving, progressing in Yoruba culture, Yoruba destiny of bringing the best for our people? The Yoruba people want every Yoruba man to be comfortable. In olden times, Yoruba people paid school fees for other people. We in Ogun, because we are Yoruba, those of us who are older will remember that even though Sadauna will come and campaign here, Awolowo came and campaign here. But what did we do? We voted Yoruba until 1979. Southern-based parties scored a minimum in every election of 91.6% in Ogunland. So we invite education. Everybody in those days, if your son is admitted or your daughter admitted to secondary school, you would rather not eat. You will make sure you pay school fees for this child. That is who we are. Now, in order to look at the Yoruba race, we need to look a bit at what we were and what we are now and what we want to be. And I have three faces here. One, the Yoruba of Oyo Empire that extended from the Niger River to the east, the Niger River to the north, and to the Atlantic Ocean in the south, and westwards it goes as far as the present boundary of the Republic of Ghana. So the area called Benin and Togo today were mostly under the Yoruba Empire. They were enterprising. Yoruba had the military strength. Everybody was afraid of the Yoruba Empire. Then the culture, bronze works, iron works, crafts, carvings, our festivals, our dresses, our language, our folklore, our various ceremonies. Yoruba developed a unique ethos, unique dressing, unique way of doing things. And the Oyo Empire was great. Everybody knew it. Its economy was essentially agriculture, and internal and external trades. But Oyo Empire collapsed. Oyo Empire collapsed for two principal reasons. One, the Yoruba of Oyo Empire quarreled among themselves. Internal wranglings entered into their midst, and they began to disagree with one another. That weakened the empire. Then, the Yoruba had enemies to the north. In 1804, Usman Danfodio declared a jihad, and the Yoruba knew that an enemy was coming from the north. That's why the Ateh of Ọ̀nà Kakanfò of olden days were always stationed in Ilorin, which was a thoroughly Yoruba town to guard the northern border of Yoruba land. In actual fact, 3 emirs before this, I still remember him very well. His title was Oba Ayelabowo II, the emir of Ilorin. He recognized himself as Oba Ayelabowo II. There was an Oba Ayelabowo I. Yorubas gradually tried to turn themselves into Fulani collaborators in Ilorin over the time. So the other Ateh Ọ̀nà Kakanfò was always based in Ilorin. But there was betrayal. One, internal wrangling, inability to really put their thoughts and actions together. Various groups started to jostle for power. And secondly, when the enemy came from outside, the Oyo Empire that was able to beat all other armies now crumbled because among them there was a betrayal. Unfortunately, the Ateh Ọ̀nà Kakanfò that was based in Ilorin to defend the northern boundary of the Yoruba Empire connived with Absalami of Ilorin, and the jihad was able to sweep into Old Oyo and drove right all the way down to Osogbo, where the Ibadan army finally crushed them. When When the jihad went through the central part of Oyo Empire and decimated it, on the eastern flank, that is from about Patike all the way to Lokoja down here, including Ogun, the Nubes also invaded about 1860. And between 1860 and 1905, a lot of Ogun land was actually occupied by the Nube until our people rose up and fought them up. I pay homage especially to the heroic efforts of the Ejugu people. The Nubes made Ejugu a stronghold. The people of this country were one of those who said, no way, it's not going to happen anymore. And they drove the Nubes out of the area. And once the Nubes collapsed in that area, they began to collapse in other areas too. That is the man whose people did that. He's here in our midst today. So Yoruba Empire collapsed and went to the second part of the Yoruba. And that is the period of 1953 to 1966. That is the era of the sage of Obafemi Awolowo, the true scion of Yoruba, of Oduduwa. It was an era of regional government in Nigeria. By 1953, Nigeria was divided into regions. And by 1960, Nigeria became independent and remained as regions until 1966. During this period, one unique part of that era was self-government. Each region was allowed to rule itself. This area that I'm talking about is going to be the core of what I'll be dealing with later. When each region was allowed to rule itself, we can see how the Yoruba, the mettle of the Yoruba, from 1953 to 1962, Chief Awolowo's government embarked on free education program. And there was a federal system of government in Nigeria. And he used this to say, okay, this is what we need in our area, free education. And the resources were also there. There was no oil. So he faced agricultural development. We had plantations of cocoa, of rubber, of oil palm. There was industrial development. In the West, in those days, we had Berek and other industries. All this, I can summarize what happened between that period. It is that because the Yoruba had the opportunity to rule themselves and to also use the resources they have for what they want. During this golden period, in October 1979, the New African magazine of the UK rated Western Nigeria as the 5th largest economy in Africa. It then ranked Western Nigeria as the first in Africa in education, agriculture, industrialization, and infrastructure. And listen to this. The New African magazine said that during this period, the Western region had outpaced Northern region by 71 years and the Eastern region by 46 years in the area of development. Because the Yorubas were allowed to rule themselves, to make their decisions. And in 1962, something happened. Something happened in 1962. Awolowo refused the British to establish a military pact with Nigeria. The North and East combined, and an operation was embarked upon. And if you read the book of Omo Omoroye, 1993, the tale of June 12th, the betrayal of democratic rights of Nigeria, he said, an operation was embarked which said, strike the sheep and scatter, and strike the shepherd and scatter the sheep. If we leave the West the way they were going, they would become the Europe of Nigeria. So they targeted Awolowo as his lieutenant and crumbled the Southwest. So again, during that time, this area was golden, but it collapsed again because of internal wranglings and betrayal. Omoroye's book says that a colonial officer went to Sardauna and said, if you want to defeat Awolowo in the Southwest, you cannot do it from Kaduna. You need a Yoruba man to undermine him at home. And that is how Ladoke Akintola was recruited. He also recruited Remi Fani Kayode and others. And they became the opposition in the Southwest and helped to destroy it. So both the first Oyo Empire and the second one were destroyed by internal wranglings and betrayal of certain Yorubas against their own people. Then the third era, the Yoruba, it was over in 62 that from then till 1965, there was crisis in the Southwest, which was engineered by outsiders and internal Yoruba people. We cannot forget the wet year of those days. And the military came in January 1966. Now, 66 to date, one thing that happened. During the period before this time, there was regionalism. There was true federalism. There was a parliamentary system of government. All this combined to enable each region to identify their priorities, to use the resources that they got for their own development. But also making sure that Nigeria worked as an integral, happy nation. So that in the area of comparative advantage, what the West did not have and the North had, they exchanged. What the East had, palm oil that we did not have, they exchanged. So Nigeria existed in a symbiotic association, and each one grew its own strength. What happened since 1966 is the destruction of the freedom of choice by people. Nigeria, under the military, became a unitary system. Till today, the 1979 Constitution was half military, half civilian. But the 1999 Constitution amended is a fraud. It is a fraud. Because at the time Obasanjo took his oath on 29th May 1999, there was no signed constitution. That is the truth. There was no signed constitution. This constitution was written by just 3 people from the north. Now, all this, and that constitution is as much a military constitution as the military own, because it is a unitary system. Again, the Yorubas who were able to collectively work together were broken into small states. Ondo, Lagos, They could no longer put their resources together. And you will remember at the time that the Yoruba group wanted to do a rail line round the southwest, the Minister of Transport in Nigeria said that there was a law of 1911 that only the federal government can build rail lines in Nigeria. What happened was that the unitary system prevented the Yoruba from really coming together using their resources to develop themselves. And this fundamental change into a presidential system also brought power from regional centers to one place and one man. A presidential system in which the states that we have today are simply the appendages of the federal government. Very few states in Nigeria today can live on its own. They depend on the federal government. So, and when you see how the nation has been divided up, the number of local governments, the number of states, and where they are, you will know that the system is rigged specially. I will make just two examples. Forgive me. Kabba, how many Yoruba people are there whose children scored 300, above 300, 400, they did not get admission to unitary schools. Why is some states, others were able to go in with 100, 80, 40? Now, all this led to a situation where the power of decision making was taken. There is nothing wrong with strong regions that can compete with one another. I'll give you one example. Awolowo started the first television station in Africa.
Yes.
And Opara laughed and said, "What's it?" But when Awolowo began, Opara went home and said, we will do it. So he created another television station. Awolowo had one channel. Opara did two. Awolowo said first in Africa. Opara said second to none. Which means that the development in one area provoked jealousy, provoked competition, provoked people to do their best. It is no longer so. The Yorubas are no longer allowed to come together and work together for their own goals.
Thank you, Bobby.
We will be concluding. Yeah, we will be concluding. Because we have identified that the structure of government is the problem, I have made two statements for which today I remain unrepentant. The first statement I made publicly is that the Yoruba will never achieve its destiny and its full potential in Nigeria as it is presently structured and administered. That's no room for excellence. The Yoruba will not achieve it the way Nigeria is structured and administered. That's no chance.